Hello, welcome to Chapter 3 Podcast, the show for readers of science fiction, fantasy, and romance. This is Season 3, Episode 13, and we are back with the next book in the Dark Olympus series, Radiant Sin by Katee Robert. And as always, if you are interested in joining us on Patreon or channel memberships, you do get access to exclusive bonus content for each episode, which is fun. And this episode's bonus content, for those to look forward to it, we'll be talking about the recent drama on TikTok about clean fantasy, in quotation marks, and this myth of porn addiction / reading smut addiction. So it's going to be really fun. Enjoy.
Brianna's not heard about it. I think that's going to make it even more fun.
Because Brianna doesn't know anything about it. So it's gonna be great.
Anyways,
this is gonna be our it's gonna be our boat. Also, if my voice sounds off, my kid gave me something, and excuse me if I'm recovering. I'm fine. At least it's not COVID. I took a test. So.
That's good.
Oh, thank goodness. Anyway, Radiant Sin, and Brianna, thank you for joining us again. I know Shay couldn't make it, but
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So. What did you guys think? How'd it go?
Oh, I think I'm the most torn on this one to date, to an extent.
Interesting.
Because it needed like 50 to 100 more pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why. Because the political intrigue, yes. The relationship, yes. And then it just stops. And I don't know how
it's very abrupt. It's very abrupt.
Like, I was like, I can't read the next book too early because I won't remember enough for the podcast. Because I like to have it fresh. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that it's because of the macro plot that she did that, but it does end really abruptly.
Yeah.
But I really liked it because the politics
I did
were
like
so good. And like the murder house party, that was fun.
The nod to Regency romance was just delightful.
It was great. I loved it.
This was the first one of the series where I was not rereading it. So that was kind of an interesting thing. But you are right. It ended, I think, like the last 50 to 100 pages was so fast. It felt like a whole little book. And I would like more of that. But I did really I love Cassandra. She is such a relatable character, especially me being the oldest sibling. I'm very much related to her in that way.
Yes, same. Very relatable.
I'm the baby, so I don't relate to that. But agreed. It was also my first time reading this one. I never read it, so I was like, the whole time I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god, this is happening. And then I was like, oh, okay, we're here now.
The way my jaw dropped when we found out that Cassandra had dated Hermes previously, I was like, what?
I messaged Shay while I was reading it because she was reading it the same time, and I was like, oh my god. She was like, just in case I can make it. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to message you as a reaction. But I lost my mind. I let out a noise audibly. I was like, oh my gosh. This is the reveal I wanted.
Man, I'm so invested. I mean, everyone is, I guess, but I'm so invested in Hermes' story. And
I just want all those times where you get the little crumbs in each one of the books leading up to it. I think I'm going to have to reread the whole thing once we get Hermes' book, just so that you can see everything leading up to it in a binge.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is funny that she keeps outshining everybody, in their own book.
Yeah, it's true. And so, of course, Katie's making us wait to the last book to get Hermes' book.
She's very good at this. That's what she always does. She's like, oh, you like this character? It's the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just like how everybody's queer. Casually.
Am I incorrect? Apollo is Demi? I don't they didn't outright say it, but he mentioned
he did have the reading of.
Well, he said something there's the affection for a person before the attraction. And I'm
yeah. So Demi, yeah.
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 No, you're right. That was there. I had that I was like, wait, okay. And
So-
then like didn't even think about it.
Well, because I think a lot of times in romance, the demi characters tend to be the female characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice to have like the male character be the demi.
I like those. I've read a couple now where the male character is demi, and I really enjoy it. Talia Hibbert has one.
Yeah.
And then I just finished reading a book that just came out that I'm obsessed with that I was going to talk about later, but Role Playing by Katee Yardley. I'll talk more about it later, but also the hero is like bi and demi, and it's so good. And they're older.
I'm all for it. I want more queer heroes in like straight passing books, so to speak. You know, like that would be, I don't know, it's just always nice because like I feel like we don't get enough of that representation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's great. Thoughts on how she navigated this sort of employer-employee dynamic here?
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I loved it. I can trust Katie to do a lot of things that I don't always find to be my jam, if that makes sense. And I don't hate an employee boss book, but like they're not my go-to. But like I feel like they laid out, and like Apollo was so aware of like all of the things about it being like a potential issue, and I appreciated that a lot. Like he didn't have to like be told like this is why this might be a problem, which is what you often see in those books. I feel like he was like, yeah, no, I understand every single issue with this,
which is why he avoided it.
And I like how carefully she did the sub-dom relationship in that. And I like it really wasn't a very extreme sub-dom relationship, but I think it was because in the back of his head, he was consistently like, well, outside of the bedroom, there is a power dynamic. And so he was really careful to like toe that line in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I loved his reaction when he found out her and Hermes were dating, that she was like into kink. He was like, oh, wait, what? Yes, please.
Because like Hermes has a reputation.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because in the reviews that I was looking at, there are people who were upset that it wasn't kinkier, given.
I will say it's probably the most vanilla one she's done.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I wonder how much of that is the power dynamics issue, you know?
I think so. I could see that. Like, I liked how subtly kinky it was because it felt like, though for Katie it's very vanilla, it was still like kind of a nice, like, you know, this is just like a casual dom sub thing they're doing. It's not overly like intense of a situation. And it was fun to read that because sometimes I feel like it's all one or the other. This was kind of that nice like middle ground of like not just regular sex, but not like, hey, we're gonna like, you know, hoist you in the air and spin you around and all this wild stuff where you're like, I don't even know how that works. I gotta draw a diagram, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I think if you think about like in the grand scheme of the books, you're sandwiching this one between Wicked Beauty, which is polyamorous, and Cruel Seduction, which is going to be poly. And so kind of having that almost just kind of back to basics relationship in the grand scheme of it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
And also thinking about the fact that the majority of this book takes place over like a week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like this is the very early stage of the relationship. It's not like we're getting, you know, lots of time passing with them where that's developing. Like I can imagine that if you had, you know, a short or a novella of them later on, it might be more dramatic, but they're just beginning a relationship.
This is true too. It is very quick, like the time period in this book. I mean, all of these books' time periods, like once you realize that the timeline is like bananas, you're like, okay. This is 2 weeks together.
It's a lot, but this one especially is very quick.
And you feel the condensed timeline because you're at the house party most of the book for that week.
Well, and I think she's trying to navigate like putting in the romances with whatever her idea for the macro plot is. And I think like balancing those things is a little tricky from what I can tell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
But I really enjoyed this one. I think because there was so much, the macro plot really just takes off.
it was I just was left stunned by the end, I feel like, about where the plot went.
Like, I wasn't upset that it ended like not in a nice bow or anything like that, but I just needed it to slow down just a little bit.
Yeah, like give us a little more.
Yeah.
I almost needed like the epilogue of them together, like in a month or two, in a way. But like we know we're gonna see them in the next books, and like we just got set up for so many books.
Yeah,
moving forward in the series, which is also bananas. Like,
yeah,
I felt like we just got all these characters shoved at us suddenly, and you're like, oh yeah, these are the next books.
Yeah.
And here's what's really happening.
I agree, though. I think an epilogue would be helpful, but I suspect she's not doing it because she doesn't want to spoil what's going to happen in the plot next. That's my guess.
I wonder if she will do like an anthology, not an anthology, but you know what I mean? Like she did with Wicked Villains. At the end of it, she did the Wicked Villain shorts that kind of go in between, but she published it as one book. And then in each one, it kind of says, this goes after Learn My Lesson or whatever.
Well, we got a bonus epilogue for Wicked Beauty.
Did we?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure there was.
I remember the Hades one. The Hades like bonus.
I think there's a Wicked Beauty bonus. I might be off, but I swear there's a Wicked Beauty bonus.
Interesting. Well, and I know that the next book coming out comes with a chapter with the wedding of, I think it's like Zeus and Hera's wedding, isn't it?
Zeus and Hera get their own book. Don't they?
Yeah, no, but like I think it's their wedding. Maybe it's a different wedding, but there's a wedding scene.
Hades and Persephone are.
It's not Hades and Persephone, but there's a wedding scene coming as bonus content in the Barnes and Noble edition of the next book. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Which I have pre-ordered.
It's on her Patreon. That's why I have it. Okay. I was like, why do I remember this? Yeah. And people were mad about it because people, apparently, I didn't realize this, a bunch of people had issues with like the poly relationship in Wicked Beauty and that it remains open and it wasn't like poly fidelity. That's a whole other situation. I didn't know this. I recently learned this and I was like, I just didn't care. It was fine with me. Because they all discussed it. I was like, whatever.
It's like as long as everybody's happy and loves each other and consenting, like who cares?
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I was like, yeah, okay.
That's interesting. Maybe this says more about like some of the people I follow on TikTok these days than anything else, though. I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? Well, that's where I saw it. I saw some people talking about like a conversation about polyamory in like books, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And they brought up Wicked Beauty, and I was like,
yeah.
Interesting. You know, I was like, I had no idea.
Interesting. We have a comment. Renee says she has a lot on her website for the series. I should look at some of the bonus stuff for it. It might be interesting. There's a wedding in Hades and Hades. What? This comment says there's a wedding in Hades and Hades. Jessica.
Hades and Hades is the crossover between the Dark Olympus and the Wicked Villain series.
So
the two Hades meet.
Because there's a Hades in each one.
And they live in the same universe. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the wedding scene is. It's probably like listed on the Barnes and Noble.
Well, I'm glad I have that one pre-ordered.
Yeah, I need to go pre-order that one.
I didn't even know there was bonus content. I was just like,
there is. Yep, it's only in that edition. So I saw her talk about it on TikTok, and I was like, done pre-ordering.
See, I get them all through her from Patreon, so like I never go grab the special edition. So I'll either.
I don't know if this one will be on Patreon though.
It will. All of them have been. She well, not the bonus content. Like all the books get mailed to you via her Patreon.
Oh yeah. But she said, I think she said in a TikTok that this one is only in the Barnes and Noble edition.
Yeah. No, I know. So I'll probably have to just go to Barnes and sit and read it.
Jessica said that the wedding night bonus is in Zeus and Hera. So in that book, not in. Or is Cruel Seduction not Zeus's book, right?
No. But Cruel Seduction has
something.
I'm looking it up
so
because
now.
Okay, a bonus scene from Hera and Zeus's wedding and wedding night. I was right. It's Hera and Zeus. I was right. Okay. I
But
was
don't they
remembering
get a
correctly.
book later?
Yeah, but they're already married.
But
So
they're
it's gonna be
already
marriage and
married.
trouble.
So this is so like because it's going to be they're already married because it was a marriage of convenience, like a political marriage.
Oh,
I think
love
it's going to
this.
be. I mean, that would be my guess, right? That it's going to be marriage and trouble. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like them actually falling for each other after
I would
being married.
prefer that over Marriage on the Rocks, but also I would trust Katee to do Marriage on the Rocks, even though it's my least favorite trope.
I don't think it's that well because I think they have a political marriage, and from
Right.
what I can tell, I don't think they're really in love. So I suspect it would be like, hey, we're in this political marriage, and now we're gonna fall for each other. That's my guess.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's going to be that kind of marriage and trouble situation of like we're not friends anymore, and we're just doing this because we have to, versus a like we were ever in love.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I think that'll be really interesting, a scene from their wedding and wedding night, because I am actually really curious what the internal details of their relationship are, because we see them on page and they're kind of distant from each other, but who knows really what's happening underneath the surface. So I'm actually really curious to see what's going to be in that bonus content. Yeah. Which, yeah, I guess actually are we then caught up?
Yeah, we're caught up to as
Or like
of today
next
because
week.
Cruel Seduction comes out
August 1st, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
So we'll be back for that in September.
Yeah.
Man. You know
August
what?
8th. I was like, I gotta go check this.
Okay.
I forgot when this comes
All
out.
right. I'm also really excited for her Hunt on Dark Waters book.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, the pirates.
Is that one queer? I mean, it's Katee.
All of her books are queer.
Probably.
All of, yes.
It's Katee. It's always queer.
I think she said basically that, like, unless you're explicitly told there's a straight character in a book, you can just assume they're all queer.
We love a queer norm society.
I love it. It's great. Oh man. Yeah. I want to say Hunt on Dark Waters is out November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think and that cover is gorgeous.
So pretty.
It is. It's a really pretty cover.
Yeah. So, what do we want to talk about additionally with this book? I mean, I feel like
we gotta talk about the politics that happened.
Yeah.
So much happened.
Yes.
So much I was just like, whoa. Well, okay. We are just everything.
I love a house
we
party
found out
thing.
A lot of stuff.
We did. Midas is a piece of work.
Unsurprising.
Really interesting that Ariadne was trying to help Apollo figure out what was going on. Yes. I think are we going to get a book with Ariadne?
Yeah, she is dark restraint.
Okay. Yeah. She's interesting. I like her.
I do too.
I really want her.
This is the first time we saw her, right? Like I think that she had mentioned in Wicked Beauty, but she never had any page time.
Yeah. She was such an interesting character to see on page, and like how much she was just kind of like, yeah, I'm doing what I have to do, kind of here to survive, but here's the place we came from, kind of, hints and all that too, which I thought was really neat to see.
Yeah.
Here's my laptop unlocked.
Yeah. You're
because
welcome.
While this kind of like blew up the whole like the macro plot and the world, it also allowed to get even bigger.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for.
Because the barrier is unstable, so who knows what's going to happen. And now it's public knowledge, although I don't know why it was ever private, I guess. Well, I mean, I understand, but that it's now public knowledge that you can assassinate one of the 13 to take their positions. So what chaos?
Only specific ones, though, to an extent. Because you can't, like, do Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and stuff, but...
but other ones.
A lot of the other ones you can, like Hephaestus was. And I think also it was interesting to see how Midas used like stuff to get himself citizenship, and then the house is secretly Hermes' house, and that's why she gave it to him, because she's working with him kind of for information on someone. We don't know who.
A woman. We don't know who this woman is or why she's so important.
Confused when like it first started happening, and I was like, wait, Hermes is not bad. I will end this series now.
They're getting a book. They can't be a full
That's
book.
what I was thinking.
Morally gray, I think, but they've always been morally gray throughout the series.
Yeah.
So like it works. It makes sense. They're going to be morally gray because we get that bit of info, and then I feel like it just gets wilder. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else I'm missing here. Like, those were the big plot points, I feel like.
Yeah, Hermes. Well, yeah. So Midas acts like he's trying to marry off his kids, but instead he's really there to get people to where he can get his kids to kill them.
Yes.
To take over, to get power. And
and all the 13 didn't bring bodyguards or security of any kind to this event.
Weird. Very
like, weird.
Why? I don't know why they would do that or why they would trust Midas, because they know he's sketchy. I don't understand. Questions. But yeah. And what else was I gonna? I don't know. I'm so curious about this woman because she's Midas's sort of benefactor, or the woman that he reports to, but he doesn't know much about her. She's who Hermes is looking into, possibly a woman from her past who's dangerous. Who is she? I don't know.
Yeah.
I did love seeing the cameo of Helen in the position of Ares.
Yes.
I was like,
that was so good.
Talking about like the power suit, I'm like, yes, this is so hot.
So good. I wonder if this woman is going to turn out to be like a Circe or a Medusa. You know?
Yeah, I could see that.
That would make sense.
Have we had a Medusa yet? Did we get a Medusa? No.
Stoneheart, the novella.
Right, yeah.
So,
but I don't think we've gotten a Circe.
Maybe a Circe. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's okay. That's my prediction.
The
mysterious woman is Circe.
It's the redacted character.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Right.
Right.
She's on the hunt for her, but then they fall in love.
Yeah, that could be it.
Like messy past, bad breakup. She's evil. Morality chain, maybe. I mean,
fingers crossed.
I'm here for this.
It could be so good.
I'm here for it.
We're not going to know for a while.
Katee Robert conspiracy.
She is coming out like what 2 a year right now. So like, we're at a steady pace. I mean, we'll have
2025
Midnight Rain in January, and then Dark Restraint next August.
I mean, they're coming out, but it's not.
So maybe by
a couple years,
a year from this August, we'll know. Give or take. I don't know if it's 8 or I don't remember how many books are in this.
I don't know. Do you think that she's gonna leave it redacted until the synopsis of the book comes out?
Yeah, I don't even think she's gonna tell us in the synopsis.
Yeah, I think so.
No, yeah, maybe not.
I don't think she will. I can see it.
We'll see.
Just like, no, I'm not gonna tell you any of this.
My theory is that this woman is Circe. That's my theory.
I like this theory.
Remember this moment.
Come back here in the future. Yeah.
I wish I had a release date for the next book because I would just put it in my calendar. Was Bethany right?
Was Bethany right?
Seriously. And have it alert me like once we find out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm just really enjoying the series, and I like that she's doing so much political stuff because it's fun for me. It feels more like reading fantasy romance to a certain extent.
It does.
Agreed.
Even though it's not super fantasy, but fantasy adjacent.
Yeah, it feels like contemporary fantasy in a weird way.
Yeah.
Because in the Wicked Villain series, there was very little macro plot.
Mhm.
There's a little bit stringing it between the books, but not this like overarching end on a cliffhanger kind of thing.
Mhm.
So I love just the growth in her writing from that to this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now, Bethany, I worry if you go back and read Wicked Villains, you're gonna be like, this is actually terrible.
I've read a little bit. It's
I don't know that
different. It's not.
jam,
Yeah.
if that makes sense fully. I feel like you could go and enjoy them just because they're really quick reads, and know that they're not necessarily your jam.
I think you would like the Tink one.
Tink's is pretty good.
Okay,
that one is good.
Good to know.
That's
Renee says this is fascinating because I have no love for the politics. Well, Renee, am I wrong in remembering that you generally don't like politics in books? Because I feel like that might have come up at some point. See, Jessica says the politics is why I'm here. Yes.
I'm here for both. Like, I'm here for the relationships and I'm here for the like macro world plot, because these weren't written in such a way that I feel like I'm just reading like interconnected standalones. These are written to be connected standalones, kind of, almost. I mean, you can't start with Radiant Sin.
No,
you can't.
No.
Like, we have hit the point of you cannot start with this book. You could start with any of the other three, and then
I think
around, and you'd be fine for the most part. But yeah, like I don't know. I think the blend of it works for me because it depends on the book on what I want. If that makes sense. Because some interconnected standalones annoy me because I'm like, no, you do have to read this in order.
Correct.
I love that you remember that, Bethany.
Renee is one of my patrons, so like she's in book club with me all the time. So I'm like, I feel like
I know what you like.
Yeah. Well, also I read her reviews on Goodreads because they're always very entertaining.
I'm about to go find Renee on Goodreads. If I'm not
go find her.
I want to go read her reviews.
I always like to see what she thinks. It's great.
I'm always looking for like very specific people on mine, so I get it.
Yeah. Everyone knows my taste more than me.
I feel that sometimes, though.
Right?
It can happen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I gave this, I don't know what you all rated this. I gave this 4 stars. I just really enjoyed it. But honestly, I think the politics and the plot and the setting at the house and everything really bumped it up for me. I liked the romance fine, but that on its own was not enough. I was like, I need more. So based on the romance, this was more like a 3 maybe, but I think for me, the other stuff really bumped it up.
I'm sitting similar, like a 4, 4.5, somewhere in there, because like I really liked them as a couple. I didn't like how it wrapped for them as a couple though. And then like the politics, I was just like very excited for info on this, on what is going on, because I just have been dying to know what is going on.
Seriously.
I gave it 3.5, but I do think that if I reread it later down the road, I'd probably bump it up. Just I think that towards the end I was drowning a little bit in just the overwhelm. But I think actually, Izzy, I liked the way that they ended as a couple. Just because I was really afraid at the beginning because she was dead set on leaving, and you're like, well, it's romance, so we know they're going to end up together. Is she going to sacrifice and stay with him? But
this is true. The way that worked out worked well.
When she was talking to her sister, and her sister being like, no, actually, my life is here. So then she felt like she could step back from her sister.
I liked that part too.
I did too. Yeah. I just wanted like a more on-page time of them as a couple is really where I was struggling. Like I just needed like 25 more pages of them together in a way, because I felt like we were like together, and then somewhat ripped apart at the end because we had to go like
there were so many other things happening,
murder, right? What's going on, and then it was just like okay, and like that part worked. I think if like we'd gotten just a little bit more before, or even like I said, the epilogue almost of like just like I wanted to see Cassandra thriving a little bit in her decision versus just like. And saying that not because of you.
Maybe we'll see it in Cruel Seduction.
This is true though, because we saw Aries and we saw P-Boy.
We probably will, but there's something about getting that in the couple's book. That's more
there is.
satisfying, you know?
Yeah.
Agreed.
But like, and like that part was really rewarding, like thinking back to Wikipedia and then seeing them all again. And like, you know, he doesn't wear suits or whatever, which is really cute.
Yeah. I do
like-
think though that if we would have had an epilogue, it probably would have broken up the macro plot too much.
Probably. This is also true. Like, this is like the dream world.
I just have to think about it
have
in, like,
these things, right?
terms of a series. This is like the middle.
Yeah.
And that's I think we are like right in the middle. So like I feel like this is when series like through no fault of their own when they're this long suffer a little bit because you're right in the middle of everything happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're trying to like there's a big turn and twists and information being revealed and that being balanced with still having the relationships kind of do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? I keep hearing something.
My dog is snoring.
Oh my God. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was like, what am
She
I
literally laid down right like across from the laptop and is just knocked out.
That's kind of funny.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do exactly? Like I can't be like, hey, get over here. She's like, I'm sleeping. So ASMR sound effects by Millie coming your way.
I'll take it. Renee says she loves doggy snores, so we're good.
She's full of them for you.
Man. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like I have as much to say about this book as much as a lot happened.
There's just a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Because
like,
I feel like I was like, there's so much to talk about, and there is, but it's also just like,
what can you say? Except I wonder about this, then I wonder about this. And I don't know.
It was kind of like we just like threw a rocket over there and just everything exploded, and hopefully it all figures itself out in the next 3 books.
Yeah, like what's up with the Minotaur and what's up with, like, you know, there's so many things I'm wondering about, which is good. I'm excited for the next book.
I'm so curious.
I'm so intrigued.
Same. I that's impressive because you know what? A lot of series these days kind of lose me where I'm like, I liked it. I don't know that I care enough to keep reading, you know? Like there are or even a couple books in. There are series that I'll pick up the first book or the second book and I'm like, yeah, I liked it, but I don't know that I need more from it, you know? So the fact that I'm this curious to find out what is going on.
I don't think it's suffering from middle book syndrome, which I think like it kind of is. Like it's, even though it's technically the 4th book, it feels kind of like the 2nd book because Neon Gods and Electric Idol could really be standalones in the world. And so this feels like it could be a 2nd book, but it doesn't have that like lag in it. In fact, like it ramped up the stress.
Yes, it did.
For lack of a better word.
Jessica says Cassandra should have hit the dude when he started to stir. I would have knocked the shit out of him, but that's just me. Yes. I was like, Cassandra, come on. Like, hit him, do something. You're just standing there. Come on. Yeah. Because he has to say the thing. So why don't you stop him?
Agreed.
But no.
The logic, not there.
What are you gonna do? But I do agree with that wholeheartedly.
You know, sometimes in high stress situations, you don't do the thing that you should be doing.
True.
Hindsight's 2020.
True. I also appreciate that with Cassandra, we got another. We could talk about this. We got another plus size heroine, and she goes and gets this like fashion designer to make all of these beautiful clothes for her. I was like, yes, go live my dreams, Cassandra.
I love how Katee writes plus size characters because it's like when you are seeing it, especially when it's in the male POVs, like when you're looking at it through his eyes and like the way that he will think about her. Katee does this like in a lot of her books, and it's so empowering as a plus size person to be like, oh, that's cool. because you always
Right.
think like kind of negatively about yourself. And so when you like
Yeah.
kind of hear it from somebody else, you're like, that's kind of cool.
But it's
Well,
not in a
even
way
the
that's like
reality.
fetishizing, because
Yeah.
like
But
I've
it's
also
not, yeah.
it's not at all. Like it's done really well.
Well, and it's like the reality of like, yeah, you can't just go buy a thing off the rack. Like that was discussed in Electric Idol, where he's like, "We'll just go buy your clothes." She's like, "That doesn't work. That's not an option."
It's like nah.
And I just like it's just nice to see it happen in the books, and you're just like, yes, thank you for acknowledging the freaking struggle that clothes shopping is.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
I love it. I love that, like, and that she made her lingerie and the whole thing. Like that was great. I loved all
I
of
did
that.
love the reveal of one bed also in this. I do think that was really funny.
Yes.
And then her being like, "Oh no, these are what my pajamas are." That was also very amusing.
Why didn't I just wear leggings and a t-shirt?
Relatable. As
good.
I am sitting in leggings and a t-shirt.
Listen, I've been begged towards in a t-shirt. It is what it is.
That's great. I love it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Jessica says, I love how it was Psyche was the one to take her. Yeah, I know Callisto was there too, but she was unneeded. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
It's good. Yeah.
And I love how they were like, no, you're spending his money. You're spending his money. It's fine.
Just embrace it. It's a business expense.
Because there is nothing that makes me more mad than when the heroine won't spend the guy's money and they're rich. I'm like, just spend his money. Who cares?
Well, it
Spend
wasn't
the
even
money.
the hero's money, wasn't it? It was Zeus's money.
It was Zeus's money.
Yeah.
Spend Zeus's money. Again, who cares?
Seriously. Like, he has plenty. Yeah. Good.
I can't wait for Cruel Seduction.
I know.
I'm so excited. Wait, remind me who is in that one, because I get that one mixed up.
So that's the one, isn't it? Like a poly knot. It's like
a poly knot. Sure.
I think it's Aphrodite. Is it Aphrodite?
It's Aphrodite.
Aphrodite. I don't remember. I think we saw some of them in the background of this, where there's some like mess. There's like some real messiness.
It's gonna be messy.
It's gonna be so messy.
Let me see if I can pull up Katee Roberts.
I know, I'm trying to get back to it. I had it open a minute ago and then I closed it accidentally.
Okay. Oh, here we go. So Cruel Seduction is Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Adonis, and Pandora.
Oh yeah.
I probably said those names wrong because I'm not Greek.
That's okay. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be super.
And we
dramatic.
Got the preview for book 7, Midnight Ruin. I keep calling it Midnight Rain. It's not Midnight Rain. It's Midnight Ruin. It's whatever. It's one letter. You swap. It's fine. And because that one's Eurydice. Orpheus and Charon.
Orpheus and Eurydice. Oh,
because
they were okay. And
So we got the apology bits in this one for that, and then I'm expecting like big grovels, which should be nice.
Good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited.
Yeah. So Hera and Zeus are not until book 9.
Yeah.
And then so it's 10 books because then Hermes is last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means Midnight Ruin and Dark Restraint will likely be the 2024 books.
Yes.
And book 8 and book 9 will be the 2025 books. We may
so
not
get 2026.
We may not get Hermes until January
2026. What? Oh my god. Oh,
that's a lifetime from my grave.
It's so long.
It's too long.
It's too long. But what are you gonna do? Like, Katie's doing a lot of stuff. She's writing.
She really is.
Got a lot going on.
I'm happy because she's not burning herself at both ends of this candle right now, because she was, and like 2020 was just like so much came out, and I was like, this is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and she already has like all of these reprints coming out too of old indie stuff.
Right. Which is she editing or changing those at all, or is it just like?
I don't think
I
so.
think they're just being
No, I
repackaged.
think they're just repackaging it for larger audience.
I mean,
Well, now the
that's
mafia
way to
trend
do it.
is like dark in the like the titles are more mafia-y, I feel like, for now, and the floral covers are more current cover trends. So it makes sense, but maybe some bonus content in some of them. I don't think so, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, any topics, final thoughts on this you wanted to talk about?
I do appreciate that Apollo was kind of a cinnamon roll.
He was.
Like, especially when the first time that they slept together and like he was the one that wanted to snuggle afterwards. And he was like, you don't have to stay here all night, but I have to hold you.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
You're actually a secret sweetheart.
Yeah. She's like, fine, do your aftercare.
It was really funny.
Yep. Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one. And
I am
then
too.
our
That
long
one's gonna be
wait
a
to
wild
January.
ride.
Same.
I
Well,
wonder
and
how long that one's. I mean, I guess people already have arcs of Cruel Seduction, so
Yeah.
but just like with it being 4 people plus how big this this world is getting, either it's going to be rushed again or it's going to be a big book.
Hold on,
well,
I can tell
we
you
can
how long.
see. Yeah.
I have an arc of it, and it's just staring me down. Yes,
You can
I have
also
an arc.
look on-
I already have an arc of Midnight Ruin.
Really? I didn't even know those were out yet.
What?
I got
on
denied
Edelweiss.
for the pirate one. I'm very salty about that one.
I got that one.
It is only 384 pages.
384.
Wow.
Yeah, on Edelweiss, right before the next book drops, they always put up the next one's arc. So like, I always go get it and then stare at it because I'm like, I can't read it too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though the temptation is there to just like read it immediately, but I'm like, no, you need to sit on this and read it close to the release.
Fair.
No, but I did get approved for Hunt on Dark Waters, so I'm probably going to read that.
About that.
I'm very curious to hear what you think of it.
It's same.
It should be interesting. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, and so next month, because we're taking a month off of this series so that people have time to get the book and read it. So me and Izzy next month are going to be doing an episode instead on Kushiel's Dart and Cassiel's Servant by Jacqueline Carey. So it should be fun.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I've already started because they're so
long. Good. I need to start soon. Now that I'm back from
listened
vacation.
To a chapter before the podcast because I was like, we need to start this. It's a 30-hour audiobook. Book one.
Yeah. Well, and then, I'm gonna do a reading vlog for them.
I am too. So yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, they're long books.
It's a big commitment.
It is. Especially for you, Izzy, because you don't usually read like long books.
I've read these before. This is a reread for me, book one though. So
yeah.
We're gonna see how much I remember.
It'll be.
This is why I started immediately. I was like, we finished a book. We need to start this book, and
it's a good call.
I'm gonna read one a weekish. We'll see, give or take.
Nice.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've got that coming next month. We're going to move into On My Radar, where we'll share recent or upcoming book releases we're excited about. But first, if you enjoy the podcast, as always, we appreciate if you take a moment to rate and review us so we can reach more listeners, and comment down below any thoughts you have. And if you're watching us on YouTube, that is. And if you're interested in getting exclusive bonus content with every episode, consider supporting us on Patreon or through YouTube channel memberships. Huge thanks to all of our supporting patrons, including our World Expander patron, Stephanie. Thank you. You all make what we do possible. And as I mentioned, the bonus content for this week is going to be discussing some recent TikTok drama surrounding clean fantasy and romance and the myth that you can be addicted to porn or reading smutty romances. So it's going to be a fun time. So join us for that if you're interested. There are some really good books coming out, so I have to gush because like literally right before we got on here, I finished a book that just came out and I love it and everyone should go read it. Role Playing by Kathy Yardley. Excellent. It is a geeky, queer, older people romance. So the heroine is 48, the hero is 50. He is bisexual and demi, which I love that for the hero. They're super nerdy. She's got social anxiety. They meet each other through an online gaming group. It's everything. I love it so much.
That sounds wonderful.
It's really good. It's so relatable too.
I'm so excited for this one.
It's so good. Her son has just gone off to college. She's been divorced for several years. It's great. Anyway, Izzy.
Yeah, I'll do Forget Me Not, which just came out today by Julie Soto. I listened to it because we got an ARC via the Libro FM audio listening program. And I liked it so much and gushed about it and got a NetGalley copy to like up my score. I was like, oh, I got it on Libro. Let's get it on NetGalley. And then it got emailed by a mutual that works for Forever and was like, do you want a physical ARC? And if you know me, I don't take a lot of physical ARCs. I don't request them very often. It's just not my thing. And I was like, yeah, I do. I really do. And I love that so much. I like this book. I was like, yeah, I do actually need a physical ARC of this. And I realized she's going to be at like Steamy Lit and about lost my mind. So this is like one of my favorite books of the year. This is Raylo fic with the serial numbers shaved off a little bit though. So if that's not your jam, this is not going to be your jam. But he is a florist and has taken over his dad's shop. And she is a wedding planner and does more like niche small weddings. And it's a second chance romance where they are working together while she works on like her biggest client yet's wedding and have to like kind of navigate everything. And Elliot, he is telling the story of the past and she's telling the present story. And then we like merge together into their like current day. It was just fantastic. It sounds like such a weird setup. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to think of this. You know what I mean? Like it's such an interesting setup, like a wedding planner and a florist.
Yeah.
And it just all paid off. Like there was good tension. I'm like literally going to reread it probably in the next week or month. Who knows? Pretty soon. I was like, I want to reread this already. Like, I don't know. It just gave me all the romancy feels. So if the cover piques your interest or you keep hearing about it and you're like, maybe I should try it. You should try it. Even though it's Raylo coded, but it's not like that. It's not Love Hypothesis Raylo level. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't feel like that. Like it's much more like toned down.
Okay.
So I think it could work for people who don't always love the fic with the serials filed off.
Right.
/ smudged off sometimes.
Oh my God.
If you are a fan of like Katee Roberts' writing, if you haven't tried Emily McIntyre, she also does kind of like a twisted dark retellings. And her most recent one is Crossed, and it's coming out on August 1st. And it is a dark, steamy retelling of Hunchback of Notre Dame, which sounds wonderful. The cover is also absolutely stunning. But she has a bunch of them. So it's like Peter Pan. There's a Lion King retelling, which is really just Hamlet retelling. But then this one is Hunchback. They're all standalone novels in a larger series. And then also just as like to support her, she's actually finishing her last round of chemo tomorrow. So you go support her.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay, so one I want to read, we just got The Duchess Effect by Tracy Livesay, which is the sequel to American Royalty. So it's continuing the story of the main characters from that, which I really enjoyed. American Royalty. I feel like it got mixed reviews, but I liked it. But it's about a Black American rapper named Duchess and her relationship with this like uptight British prince. It's great. So yeah, I enjoyed the first one, so I'm gonna probably read the second one. it's either about to come out or like just came out this week. So
I think it just came out today too. I feel like everything came out today.
Everything came, yeah, I feel like that is.
I was looking at a new release list for today and I went, okay, everything in July
Like
came
everything,
out today.
Yeah.
Okay, my other one is Play to Win by Jodie Slaughter. I don't know if you've read this yet, Bethany, or not. If you got an arc or anything. Okay. This is her second book in her Green Creek in South Carolina series. And it's about one of them, she wins the lottery and has to like reconnect with her ex-husband. Like they're not divorced fully, like they're just separated so that they can get divorced and finalize it. And he's like, this is my chance. This is my chance to fix this. So I'm very curious where this is going to go. Because I love a like, I'm going to fix this marriage in trouble situation. Not a like, I cheated or like something big happened. Like, I think they got married young and like couldn't figure out how to grow together. And now he's like, no. I'm not giving you up. We're going to figure this out. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out.
Interesting.
It sounds fun. And a lottery. I mean,
yeah.
Just always a weird, an interesting, different setup.
Yeah.
Which one? What was that one called?
Play to Win by Jodie Slaughter. Yeah.
Okay. Interestingly enough, on the terms of lottery, there's a book I haven't read this one yet, and I've actually never read it from the author, but the cover sparked my interest. It's called Curves for Days by Laura Mower, and it's about a plus size heroine that wins the lottery, and gets like thrust into like the spotlight. So then she moves to the like tiny town in North Carolina. And it's a grumpy sunshine romance between her and a contractor that is like helping her build this house. And it sounds really cute. I think it's a debut as well, but
it is a debut, yeah.
Like I got sent it on NetGalley, and I was like, "This sounds delightful." That
sounds really
good. When I saw it, I was like, "Yes, please."
Right? And the cover is so cute.
Her butt is just like there on the cover. I love it. That's a compliment. I was just like, damn.
Exactly.
That is ass forward cover.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I had two others on it. Okay, hold on. The title is popular. Who's the author on that one?
Laura Mower. Moher.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so I had a couple others. So A Rulebook for Restless Rogues by Jess Everly is a queer historical romp about two lifelong best friends who find romance as they join forces to save the one place where they can truly be themselves. Sounds cute.
That does sound cute.
So if you like a queer historical romance. And then I'll just do my other one, and then if y'all have anything else to throw in, you're welcome to. The last one is a novella, More to Love by Georgina Kirsten. So this looks really adorable. It's about to come out. It's a male romance about bookstores and coffee shops. It's got plus size rep and bisexual characters and autumn vibes. And the cover is really adorable.
I keep forgetting that comes out this month. And I don't know why. I keep forgetting this because I follow her on TikTok and stuff, and I keep getting like about it. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to read this.
Yeah.
Over my brain that it's out in July.
Yep. Out soon. So yeah. Anybody else have anything else? Cool. No. So go check all of those out. Thank you all for joining us. I will be back on July 25th with Leanna to talk about Tower of Swallows by Andrzej Sapkowski. So if you're joining us for the Witcher read-along, stay tuned for that. And then me and Izzy will be back in August to talk Kushiel's Dart and Cassiel's Servant, which should be fun. Again, this has been Chapter 3 Podcast. We're your hosts, Bethany and Izzy, and you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Chapter 3 Podcast. And of course, you can always follow us on our individual YouTube channels. Join us July 25th for our next episode, and this episode's bonus content will be available to patrons and channel members in the next few days. Thanks for